Hey man, what's going on? My name is Michael Angel Jorge. Today's date is March 21st, 2022, and I am 24.
Right now, I have
Who is that guy?
a 365, which is not a lot, but it's okay. It's just my mom following me. It's fine.
I can't. I can't with myself. LOL. So we're talking about currently right now how many Instagram followers I have. Funny story about that. I got locked out of my Instagram account 2 years ago, so I had to completely restart. I believe that right now I have about 45. I just restarted it a couple months ago. I think 45, right? 50?
Fact checkers are on it.
About 53. I have 53 followers on my new Instagram account. We're trying to boost those numbers up.
My most liked photo on Instagram is actually this one. It's a photo of me at graduation. Graduating with the class of 2019.
17 is the highest that I have on my new account. I think the other one was 122. I think that was the other one.
116.
116. Okay, I was only off by a little bit. Great. Honestly, I had a great time doing the Songs to Speech, one of the very first projects that we did together. And then right after that, I think the next big one that we did was DNA that we did for Zoom for Change. And that was really, really great. It was a great experience, especially being able to act with a lot of my other friends during a time when we all couldn't be together and finding ways to innovatively perform theater through different mediums was just really, really cool. So I really enjoyed my first year. I think that Blackwolves still to me means family. It's a community, definitely. And I think Blackwolves overall represents artistry because the community that's being given to us as members is very much a creative and expressive platform for us to get what we're trying to work on out there in the universe.
I think the most important thing that it means to me is family, kind of like family outside of my family.
There we go.
Everybody so far that's a part of the collective, the contributing artists like myself, plus everybody who is on the board, they all take making sure that the environment that we're given to create art, it's a very safe space, and they really promote actors and people running with their ideas that they have. I don't think there's ever been a time that I've been shut down on any of my ideas, that I've ever brought to a character or anything like that. So I think that the most important thing that it represents to me is family.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree with all that.
My favorite memory with Blackwolves has to be us filming this little-known short that's on YouTube that you should definitely go check out. It's called The Country House. And I remember there was one night where we were shooting the scene that's outside on the porch, and it was so cold.
It was really cold.
And while I was operating the camera, there was this wind that was coming right across the porch, and Jacob was holding up the light filter, and you could just see Jacob just out of the corner of my eye, just going like this, trying so hard to keep still because the wind was blowing so hard. It was very, very hard for me not to break down laughing, cracking up, and ruining this.
This is a very true statement. I would like to change my answer to that, though. I think my favorite memory of Blackwolves thus far has been being a part of the podcasts. 100%. I think that getting the opportunity to conversate with my friends about topics that I really, really enjoy, that they bring me on as an expert in, is it's really fun. It's really cool. It's something that I would love to continue doing with them in the future. And yeah, but that moment with Jacob was very, very funny. It was very hard for me not to bust out laughing.
My favorite moment in my career so far has definitely been given the opportunity to do extra work on the set of The Week Of by Adam Sandler. It was my first experience actually doing professional work. And the environment that they created, even for people who didn't have principal roles or anything like that, it was really fun. It was really fun. It was very much a relaxed work environment, but like at the same time when it was like cameras rolling and everything was on, like it was on. But being next to and acting around, the likes of Adam Sandler and Chris Rock and Steve Buscemi, all actors who are in the movie, there's just this sense of ease that they have through their acting after acting for so long that you can't help but, as a young actor like myself, that kind of like rub off on you. And after a certain point, everything just starts to be a lot more relaxed, if that makes sense. So it was definitely one of the best experiences that I've ever had.
100%, I agree. I think my favorite moment of that whole filming process was we were doing the wedding scene and we were all holding right before the whole set got lit on fire, which was an experience and a half. However, Adam Sandler with, again, I think maybe like there were easily 80 of us, 90 of us, excluding the main cast. And he just came out and was bumping Kanye on his like speaker. Like straight up, just like blasting Kanye on his speaker and like getting everybody like really relaxed and really, just in a comfortable mindset to be able to do the things that we were doing, which as a professional, one day I hope to be that kind of person on whatever set I work with and just in my life, because that's how I feel, how I am. Honesty, all the time. I don't think that that's ever gonna change, because as long as you're honest, regardless of what you're doing, whether it's personal, professional, as long as you're honest with yourself and honest with the people that are around you, but then again, most importantly to yourself, you will be able to attain everything that you want, which I think has been a hard thing for still me to understand in crucial moments.
Honestly, probably my cell phone, and here's why. I'm a very forgetful person, so I have a bunch of reminders in my phone to do even simple things. And so if I didn't have my cell phone with all my reminders that I put in for work on my calendar and like other reminders of just doing daily things around the house, I would absolutely be lost in the sauce, 100%.
Wow, a year later and the material world evaporates and I give such a great answer, and then we look back and it's like my cell phone, which is still completely true, because especially me, like I have ADHD, and part of dealing with that is like having to set reminders for myself all the time, so my alarms will go off and whoever is with me, it will be like, could you shut your alarm off for like 5 seconds? Stop having it constantly go off.
I think right now, still, it is Parasite, 100%. One of the best movies that I've ever seen. It's a hard choice between that and Interstellar, but I think there's just something about the story of Parasite that just pushes it just that much farther, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's a hard one. I think that within the past year, there have been a lot of good movies that have come out, a lot of bangers, and honestly, I'm gonna change my answer. I would have to say Robert Pattinson's The Batman. Yep. It's like, to me, as a comic book nerd, I feel like that's the main thing that really draws me to that movie and like solidifies it as currently my favorite movie right now. But yeah, Parasite and Interstellar, also great movies. I recommend everyone to watch them. More than once, but watch them at least once. It's the very first podcast that I was on with you guys. Specifically for the moment of me coming out of the curtains and Jacob screaming at me and me screaming at Jacob back, and there's this still that you guys caught of just like all of us screaming in our general direction, and then I just kind of like sat down on the couch and we continued and just didn't talk about what just happened. I'd have to say that. That and as a real answer, definitely our Zoom for Change video that we did for DNA. I mean, our DNA video that we did for Zoom for Change. There we go. Blue, 100%. Blue, will always be blue. I actually found out there's not a new color of blue, but there's like a little unknown color of blue that I think it's called cyan. I think that's what it's called, like SCION. It's a lighter navy, but it's still not, it's not super light, but it's not super dark. It's like this like perfect right in between blue. I'd have to say that. I can't think of what it is off the top of my head though.
Blue.
Yeah.
100%. And not just like, not a light blue and not like dark navy blue, but somewhere in between like the middle.
I told you.
Definitely.
What's up? I really can't think of what it's called. No, not at all. No, yeah. A lot. All of the time. I think a lot of the pressure that I feel is put on myself. Also a little bit of expectations of other people, but I try to really focus on what I want a lot. So it's, yeah, I definitely feel a lot of internal pressure. I could say that 100%.
100%. All of the time. I think that regardless of even the field that we're in and the things that we're doing all the time, just life happens. Things in your life happen and certain pressures come about. But yeah, that would be the answer to that question. Yes, I do feel pressure.
I was like a little ball of stress I was a year ago. Let's see it all in my face. Oh, fucking hypocrisy. I'm sorry. I don't know if we can curse right now. And I know that that's what I said before, but like still forever and for always it will be hypocrites. I can't stand them. I can't stand people who are just hypocritical because it's like, don't tell me to not do something and then do exactly what you told me not to do because then I'm gonna deliberately do it at that point because I'm just that petty. But yeah, hypocrites really grind my gears.
Hypocrites.
See?
Hypocrites are my pet peeve.
Oh my God, it's like we're the same person.
I don't have a lot of pet peeves, but people that say something and give you advice on something and do exactly what they tell you not to do is the most irritating thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, 100%. Though I will say this, for honesty's sake, because we were talking about honesty before, I have done a lot of work with myself to not be a hypocrite about the advice that I give the people around me and my friends, because I know I can give really good advice, but it's a lot harder to act on that stuff than to be like, yeah, this is your problem, and here's how you fix it.
This next year that you're going to go through is definitely going to be the hardest thing that you've ever had to do. There's going to be a lot of heartbreak. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs. You're going to feel low a lot. But the most important thing you have to understand is you have a great support system around you of friends and family.
Agreed.
And contrary to what you believe, you are actually good at the thing that you do.
Yeah, 100%. The biggest advice that I would give myself now, a year later, would be to take your advice from a year ago. Because as much as it's easy to be like, you're good at the thing that you do, like, relax yourself. It's definitely not that easy. You know what I mean? And honestly, think about yourself, man. Like, I know that that sounds really selfish, and I know that, like, ultimately you as a person are not gonna do that, but, like, think of yourself more often because you matter.
Trying to think who would be bigger, Adam Sandler or Chris Rock. I'm gonna say Chris Rock. I'm gonna say Chris Rock in this instance. On the set of The Week Of, I got the opportunity to work alongside Adam Sandler and Chris Rock. I actually got to stand next to Chris Rock, which made me sweat a little bit, but it's okay. Gave me a thumbs up, telling me that I did a good job. So.
Yeah, I would agree. Chris Rock is the biggest person thus far that I have worked with. And that moment actually where he turned around and gave me a thumbs up was actually pretty funny because I remember standing behind a whole bunch of people, but like having the AD like put me right behind where he was gonna stand, and he basically like grabbed me by the collar of my shirt and was like, listen, whatever happens, do not say anything. Just nod your head. And I was like, all right, dude. Like, okay, all right, relax. Like 2 seconds later, he came walking out, and I was like, oh!
I would say that I would love to work on a Quentin Tarantino film. There's something about Tarantino's writing and his directing style for me that just, it really pushes his actors and really forces them outside of their comfort zone, and it's something that I really want to try. So I would definitely have to be Quentin Tarantino.
I'm definitely going to change my answer to that. I'm going to say Kevin Feige. Just because I know that a lot of the way that this works, if you manifest things, you put things out in the universe, that, you know, maybe they come back to you. But yeah, I definitely think that being a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe would be incredible and amazing, and I think that that's definitely the dream of the thing that I want to do. Doja Cat. Yeah, 100%. Stop, stamp it, seal it, Doja Cat, 100%. And that's because I feel like people underestimate Doja Cat a lot, especially a lot of people who are like rap connoisseurs. They don't recognize that like the whole thing with Doja Cat is the fact that she doesn't care. Like, she cares about the music that she makes, but she doesn't care about anybody else's opinion about her music. That's why you have songs like Moo, and then you have songs like, I think it's like that, and Say So, right? That are like really, really clear-cut examples of the fact that like Doja Cat is really inspired by Nicki Minaj in a lot of her rapping. And like, yeah, I aspire to be that carefree, honestly. So that's why I'm gonna say Doja Cat right now.
Without a doubt, The Weeknd. I think the last time that I looked at my iTunes, I think I listened to Blinding Lights, not Blinding Lights, but the whole After Hours album, the deluxe edition specifically. I think like 80 times already.
Perseverance and determination, I think, are the two things. Or like, I know that you're saying biggest thing, but I think that both of those go hand in hand, because as long as you're determined to see something through, to finish it, I think that's been my biggest thing as of right now, because I have a really bad habit of starting a lot of things and not seeing things through. But I think with determination comes perseverance. So yeah, I think that that's definitely the biggest thing, at least for me, that I've had to learn and have learned throughout this past year. Don't listen to anything that anybody else has to say except for the people that you pay. No, I'm kidding. No, don't listen to the haters, man. Honestly, don't, because haters come in every shape, in every form. Haters can be friends that you had 2 weeks ago that you get something and then all of a sudden they don't like you for some reason. Haters can be your family members. Haters can come in all shapes and forms and sizes, but the only person that matters at the end of the day is you. And the fact that you look at that screen and you like the product that you went and you made. That's what matters.
Don't listen to the haters, bro. Don't. Everybody's going to tell you that you can't do it. People are more often than not going to tell you that you should think about getting another job, or think about maybe going back to school, or think about a backup plan. And don't listen to them. If it's something that you want to do, and acting is something that you want to do, and art that's something that you want to do it. No matter how many times that you do it, you know what I mean? Experience is just as valuable as, paid work. So you have a phone, we have basic technology now. You can do almost anything with the little that most people have anyway. So just do it. Just make it. Throw it out there. See what happens.
That's a fact, and I'm gonna amend something that I said in that video, because having to do something on the side to support yourself in your dream doesn't mean that you have to throw your dream away. And I think that that's also an important thing that people have to understand, is that just because you get a job as a waiter, or you work at Starbucks, or you get an internship somewhere, doesn't mean that you have to put your career and the thing that you want to the side. Because at the end of the day, there are always things that you can be doing for your career, no matter how small that they are, to advance yourself forward. More representation. At the end of the day, I think that that's one of the biggest things that I will always strive for. And I think that representation comes in all forms and sizes, whether that is like something that we've talked about a lot, right? Allowing female identifying actors to be able to do more contact hits during fight combat. I think that is, at least for me, an important thing, because just because guys can do it doesn't mean that women can't. And also just more representation with proper characters at the end of the day, because again, I'm Puerto Rican and I don't really see a lot of media out there that's geared towards people like me, and I want to see more of that. So
I want to see more Latinos like myself be represented in today's society, because like Latin representation isn't that huge still within the media that we're within, even today's media, and there's not just a lot of shows about us, and even like Puerto Ricans specifically, there's even fewer things about Puerto Ricans or Dominicans specifically, and I want to see more of that type of representation start to come into the world, whether it be film, TV, video games, art.
Facts. And not stereotypical representation, might I add. I'm tired of Hispanic people playing drug lords and like gang members. I'm done. What about the Hispanic dude on Wall Street? What about that guy? What's he up to? That's all I'm saying. I don't know the answer.
Probably Instagram. I never post on it at all, which is why I have such a low follower count. But I use it almost every day. I find myself mindlessly scrolling through that. And Twitter.
Wrong. Actually, I can't say wrong, because probably by that point I was using Instagram a lot. But that damn clock app, man. That damn clock app. Oh, God. Yeah, definitely TikTok. I use TikTok a lot. I think like mindlessly scrolling at like 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm like, I should be going to bed, but I can't stop. Fear. It's the biggest thing that I'm struggling with right now, because at the end of the day, I really want to make a difference somehow. Doesn't matter how little, right? I'm not trying to be like, end world hunger, bring peace, because like, I don't think one person can do that on their own. But I think that fear for me stops me from accomplishing the things that I know I can do. Not my dreams, the things I know I can do.
Confidence. It's a thing that I've struggled with, and I will probably continue struggling with for all of my life and most of my career. But it's just one of those things that I constantly have to remind myself that no matter how much I think that I might not be good at something, people wouldn't tell you that you are good if you're not. Or at least I hope so. But yeah, it would definitely be confidence. I'd probably ask the person who gave me the blank check how much they wanted to give me, because I'm never one of those people that's just like comfortable with writing down whatever I want, because like I have a fear all the time that whatever I do, especially in that certain circumstance, that I'd be like asking for way too much. That's always a fear of mine whenever people are like, just take what you want. I'm like, but what if I take too much?
Fund art in general. Arts and, for most importantly, arts in schools. I would establish some sort of fund that I, hopefully in a dream scenario, would be run properly. But I would establish a fund that would be able to give schools the proper funding that they need for their arts programs, because at the end of the day, however people want to think about it, arts is one of the most important things to kids and for kids at the end of the day. It was worth it. Taking the time for yourself was worth it, wasn't it? You're good at what you do, bro. Your friends know it. The people that train you know it. So just go out there and do it. Lay it all on the line. And then if people don't like it, okay, whatever. But at the end of the day, what matters is that you like it. Stay tuned for any Blackwolves stuff that's coming your way, because there's a lot, all right? I better see your view.